The Nimble with Numbers team presents Chalked Blocked with Bo Big Time McBrayer.
I gotta know what a $5 shake tastes like.
That's hot. That's hot.
I want winners, folks. You don't know diddly.
And his partner, Scott Stag Simpson.
Do you know who I am?
Trying to put Tiger Bomb on this jungle's nuts.
That's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
I gotta catch a glimpse of these warlocks. Let's make a move. Let's make a move.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to Chalk Blocked, the world's sexiest DFS show for now. This is the Nimble with Numbers production, so I can't technically have a show without Nimble with Numbers himself, Scott Simpson. As much as I would love to have a solo show, I don't have the chops for that sort of thing. So I do love to have the person who I trampled over in DFS head-to-head last week on the show with me as a special guest. His name is on the show, so we might as well bring him on and recap his own demise. Scott, how are you feeling tonight? Are you okay?
I got my penicillin shot after I went and jumped into a lake, and after I lost, I jumped in a lake. I got some kind of disease, but I got penicillin. And there's a 50-50 chance I live until tomorrow to beat you one last time. So it's touch and go. I hope I make it.
Well, we're all knotted up at 2 games apiece. I believe I have you 3-1 in our highest score contest, though.
You do, yes.
So, that does count for something since it was your idea.
Yeah. I was very optimistic and bullish on my own scores because last year, 220, 230 all the time. It was just like left and right. And this year, I haven't broken 200. So I'm not going to lie. I've been down a little bit, even though, I made like $700, $800, which is awesome. Yeah. I had not been at the standard of scoring, but I will say my lineups have been
good contest selection.
Right. I've done better contest selection this year. I'm getting more adapted, understanding where those lineups should be played. And that's hard. It's hard to figure out. So, yes, congratulations, Bo. We are 2-2. I have 2 more wins this year than I did all of last year. So I'm pleased.
So not quite, but yeah, it sure seems that way.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, you've been getting a little bit better of me too, because even though you haven't put forth some big lineups against me, I've been putting forth last 2 weeks have been my worst lineups. That out of all of them that I've been making, anywhere between 10 to 30 lineups is usually what I cap out at because I don't have a lot of time to put forth quality builds in that upper 100, 200, 300, 400 lineups like some people will do. That's their prerogative to make 420 lineups. But for me, it was more of, okay, within my own realm, last year I was making 10 to 15 cash lineups, and then I would have maybe 3 or 4 to 5 at the most tournament lineups. And so, yeah, you would have had more 200-point weeks than me last year because I wasn't focused on tournaments as much as I am this year, where I'm building fewer cash lineups, but they're honed in more. And then I'm trying to find those little dart throw GPP builds I'm trying a little bit harder this year to win some tournaments. And it's working out for my subscribers over at Ball Blast, but it's not quite translating for me, even though I have profited pretty well overall in tournament play this year, especially on Showdown Slate. But yeah, it just seems like everybody that is reading my stuff and listening to me is winning more than me, which I guess is okay.
Yeah, they're winning because you're giving them the insight into what they should play, whether it's the captain spot over there for Ball Blast or whether they're looking at building that unique lineup that's going to get them in the cash over at NimblewNumbers. I'll say this, though. One thing that you have done a great job of this year, even though maybe you haven't cashed a bunch, is creating those cash lineups, though, that will win for everybody else. And so, that's where you really make your money, folks. And if you don't know how to DFS yet, I'll explain to you. You get lucky every once in a while and hit a $5,000 GPP like me, but that's not, I got lucky as shit. Let's just be honest. 300,000 entries and I got second. That's luck. That's partly luck, right? So that's not how every single week you're not going to be there getting those big cashes and things like that. Shout out Coach Craig. Love that guy. He's almost as good looking as you and me, Bo. Almost. Not as, but
I would argue that he's more handsome and a better DFS player than one of us.
One of us, right? And we both know, the same person as well. So we'll let you guess who that is, and you'll know by the end of tomorrow when you figure out who won our head-to-head contest. But shout out, Craig. Glad you're here, brother. We love you. I would say though that you have done exceptionally well, even though you haven't cashed in a big prize yet. But it's coming. One day you will, and I can't wait to high five you and tell you what an amazing DFS analyst you are, because you are the nuts, my friend. You are my favorite DFS analyst out there. I would not work with anybody else in the business. Knock on wood, I don't have to. So love you, brother.
Oh,
I'm just saying all those nice things so that when you beat me, you're not as mean to me this time. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Well, if when it comes down to with our head-to-head, that's a lot of fun because I mean, last year we were playing for money. We were playing for money and pride. This year we're playing for pride and just being ruthless about it too. Because without the money component on a weekly basis, we're getting creative on ways to really get under each other's skin, and I love it. I just love it. Because I'm making money on DraftKings. We do have a few subscribers to our Patreon already, which is awesome, and they're winning too. So let's keep the winning trend going, and let's break down the slate walk.
Oh, yes. I do have to say, since you did such a great job of segueing that before we get to the slate walk, do go check out the NimblewNumbers Premium NFL DFS over there at the Patreon. It's patreon.com/nimble. I believe, Bo, you're the creator of this. Thank you, brother. We do have 12 active patrons, and we're really excited to give you those lineups. The way it works is if you are new, we give different tiers based on what you want to subscribe to. So if you want all the lineups and DFS advice, what is that, Bo? What's the top rank that you can get here for our members?
The most agile of the Nimble tiers is the Barry Sanders tier. Fitting, of course.
Yes.
If you're a Barry Sanders member, it's $15 a month. And you get access to all the lineups we build. You're going to get invited to our DraftKings leagues. You're going to get drafted. You're going to get invited to our underdog leagues. You're going to get invited to have one of us or both of us help you build your lineups each Sunday. We're pretty much going to roll the red carpet out for you, because if you're a Barry Sanders member, you're going to be expecting a lot out of us, and we're here for it. I mean, we live for this stuff, and sharing what our grind looks like is actually a lot of fun. It's exciting to think that somebody's like, hey, these guys are just fun, and it's not that expensive. I mean, I spend all kinds of money each month on stupid shit that's way worse than stuff that could win me more money, and so I could blow it on other stupid shit. So that's kind of where I see it. Is it's not expensive. We don't want it to be expensive. We want it to be a tool for you to be more profitable in your own DFS portfolio, because that's what this is. This is trying to profit and to build wealth, and on a smaller scale, of course. But it's something that's fun because you get something you can watch and play along with. Like we live for setting it all up just for that lock moment at 1:00 Eastern, where it's out of your hands. You can't do shit, and maybe except for a late swap for every once in a while. But most of the time, it's you hit 1 Eastern and lock, and it's basically watch Red Zone or the game you want to watch and hope for the best.
Yeah, no, it is, and I'll tell you what I do. Welcome, Dan. Love Dan. What I do for the Sunday games is I don't look at DraftKings until late, just because I don't want to sweat the equity loss or win. Last time I did that, I was winning 700, and I looked later, I was winning 300. I don't like that. I don't want to know that I lost $400. I'd rather just look at it and see I've won $300. So
I'll look at it, but I don't think about what could be, because when I usually watch DraftKings, or I watch Red Zone, so that I can see all the touchdowns, and I already know who my main players are because I wrote about them all week. I've done all the hours of research about the guys that I really expect to pop off, and they're in most of my lineups. So when I see somebody score on Red Zone, I'll think, okay, what percentage do I have on this guy to score a touchdown? And then the tilt comes from when you get a fullback score a dive touchdown or a throw. They throw to their fourth tight end on the goal line, and it doesn't help anybody. Or if somebody gets hurt, and then you really can't do anything about it either. But checking DraftKings for me, I'll do it pretty frequently, but not to check if I'm winning or losing, but just to see kind of how everything's shaping up, especially for my 50-50 cash games, because I'm interested to see kind of, to be honest, the ownership percentages, because in tournaments it's really important, but in cash games it's really interesting because it's not as important, but it still means something. Like we might see Derrick Henry at 90% in some of these 50-50 games, which is fine because I'm still going to play him.
Right. No, I love it. And it's good to kind of unpack the thought process behind this is what we were doing here a little bit about kind of our roster construction, roster builds, how we kind of attack it. And we've attacked it all day today. Bo, you've been off. Congratulations. I'm at home. I'm not off, but I'm home. So I'm off.
My first Saturday off since you were here. And it's my first Saturday off, like with nothing really on the agenda for months, maybe even a year.
It's beautiful. I'm feeling a nice big win this weekend, given the amount of time that we've kind of jumped into DFS, which would be tremendous. So let's jump in even further. We're going to do the slate walk, as Bo said.
Yeah. Take a little turn on the slate walk.
Oh, yeah. And the slate walk.
Scott is a model. You know what I mean. He's a shoulders down model on the catwalk.
I'm a behind a veil catwalk. Yeah. I am excited because our slate walk today is brought to us by RuntheSims.com. Please go check out. We have partner links down if you're listening on YouTube down in the comments section below. Check out Run the Sims. You get a free account. Sign up. They've got amazing tools besides this lineup optimizer we're about to run through here. They got other tools too. If you're right here on the screen, they've got the dashboard. Tons of stuff, NFL content, gambling content. They have a whole section just on how to bet, how to hold, how to middle, how to odds, how to par. I mean, dude, I love Justin Freeman and the folks over there at Run the Sims. They're just amazing. And then also Pat Mayo's kind of working with them too. And I work for Pat Mayo over at the Mayo Media Network, doing the the football picks and bets show Tuesday night with LQ. So Laquan, for those who do not know the Real Deal Fantasy,
Run the Sims is the only running I'll ever do. So
right, yeah, me too. I mean, I run to the fridge every once in a while, but don't tell anybody. Okay, so let's jump in. I'm going to set this to, and what's cool about Run the Sims is you can manipulate what slate you want to do. You're doing the early games, only the 8, the late games, only the 4, or doing the main. You can kind of play around and pull up different lineups and things like that. So we're going to go to the main, the 13 games. Where do you want to start? What's the first game? Are the Jets on the main? Are you serious? The Jets?
No.
That's crazy.
They don't have the 12 games, so you have to click on that. We can just skip over the London game.
I was scared as shit because that meant several more hours taken away from me to input lineups. Sorry if I kind of out louded right there. That just made me kind of crazy. I didn't think it was on the slate. It looked like a 12-game slate.
They're messing with us.
All right. No worries. You got me there, Justin.
So let's just go left to right with New Orleans, Washington. Get that stinker out of the way.
Yeah, we're gonna
there's some pieces here. Well, there's some pieces here at the Washington New Orleans game that we could use to build around for sure. There's some star players that are going to be playing in this game, and I don't think that this is the kind of game you really want to stack because there's always a chance that Washington's defense wakes up. And the Saints defense really isn't bad at all, and they haven't been for years. So there's a really good chance this game is kind of one of those plodding along, slow play games. And 43.5 is pretty appropriate. I think it might go over, but it's also, I think it's a really nice line.
Yeah. No, I agree too. I think if you're looking at this game, there's just two main weapons that you want to ascertain or get on your team and draft on your DraftKings GPP lineups. Particularly, I'm looking at Terry McLaurin, 7,400. He's had 27 targets in the 2 wins. He's only had 11 targets in the 2 losses. So really, if Washington wants to win, they're going to have to pepper him with targets, give him at least 13, 14 targets. And I mean, that's kind of their thought process, I'm guessing, as well, with De'Ami Brown out, Logan Thomas out, question mark for a questionable tag for Antonio Gibson dealing with a shin injury. So what do you think about Terry McLaurin? Are you favoring him in cash, GPP? How are you approaching him?
So I think what happens with with how I've been building lately, or the last day or two, is I love him for cash games because I'm finding it easier to plug him in as a piece in a cash game lineup at 7,400, which is, I mean, it's pretty expensive, but
Right.
it's also it's hard for me to put him into a GPP at a high percentage because this game isn't very stackable. I'd be more inclined to stack him with his quarterback if it was a better matchup. Well, it's still a really good matchup because I think that they're going to be able to throw the ball in the Saints. The Saints are a pass funnel defense. They're really good at stopping the run. So Terry McLaurin should get a lot of work here, which is why I like him for cash games. But for a tournament, that price point really kind of makes it hard to fit him in around a different stack because I'm not really that high on Taylor Heineke this week.
Well, I'm not that high on him either. I will say this, though. Last week, I wasn't too high on him either. He did ball out last week. And
I was high on him last week, but I was on fire last week. So pretty much if I was calling it last week, then it happened. This week I've kind of cooled off a bit, but
hey, you know what? We all get our runs of
Yep.
hotness, as the hot cash king
Yeah.
himself would say. I know that. Where are you kind of playing here with Alvin Kamara? What are you doing? You being cute with him? Are you smashing him? Are you fading him? How are you kind of dealing with him? GPP, cash, both? Neither?
GPP for sure, because you're gonna have to go after one of these stud running backs not named Derrick Henry this week.
Right.
You're gonna have some Henry. Like I'm probably gonna have him 20-25% of my lineups for GPP as well. He's gonna be in all my cash lineups. But Kamara, I'm concerned about his receiving workload. He had 0 targets last week. That's an extreme concern because that's his entire game. That's why he's the free square on DraftKings up until this season. And he's the reason why I had him as my running back 6 coming into this year, because I was worried about the quarterback situation. I was worried that either one of these guys, Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston, weren't going to be the same kind of outlet passer that Drew Brees was. And right now it's coming to fruition where, I mean, you kind of like to have a guy like Kamara because his workload's still really good on the running game side. But it also, you're only saying Kamara is a good option because a lot of these other running backs have gotten hurt already.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what's scary is the fact that he's only gotten 14 targets so far. If you take his targets and extrapolate them out for the whole season, he'll have less targets this year than he has catches every single year. That's not good. But I will say this on the on the other side of the coin, Washington, it's weird. They've not given up a ton of yards to running backs out of the backfield. They give up 5 touchdowns, though, 5 receiving touchdowns. So you're thinking if the Saints are going to break the plastic on being able to pass the ball, which honestly, Sean Payton, that was an effective tool for you, by the way. I don't think it was just a moneymaker for us fantasy guys. You are winning games using him out of the backfield in that pass-heavy kind of funnel to the middle of the field.
He kind of is a really good receiver, right. And he's extremely hard to tackle in the open field. So wouldn't you want to get him in space?
I mean, look, he's way better when he has no one around him and he can run straight ahead, or he can make one or two guys miss in space with his little spin moves he does. So
he's slippery. He's slippery. He's not a burner. He's not a guy who makes a lot of juke moves, but one guy cannot bring him down by themselves. And he's not a big guy. He just runs with great leverage, great balance, and good lean. He runs with a good angle to him. And those guys like Nick Chubb are always tough to tackle because you hit them square on, and half the time you're going to bounce off because you can't get your arms around him if they're leaning forward. That's Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And I think this low total kind of just moves me away from trying to do any punt plays. Curtis Samuel, 3K, but he has not practiced but once this week. And so he's questionable. He had 37% snap share last week. It would be up if he's healthy.
I'll give him a sprinkle. We'll give him a sprinkle.
Well, I'm just saying, if he plays, I'm putting him in. If he does not play, just be careful. Watch him in the morning. All right. Okay.
He's going to play.
Okay. I like it.
He played last week and he was less healthy last week.
Look at that. That's confidence, my friend. That's Bo big time.
But I'm not going to be heavy on him. I'm going to be actually heavier on Deontay Harris. Deontay Harris actually leads the Saints in targets. No, not Marquez Callaway, not Alvin Kamara, not Michael Thomas, of course.
Yeah.
But Deontay Harris, little guy, little quick son of a bitch. That
Fast.
guy can run. That guy can run. He's fast. He's quick. He's small. He's the Sproles of that offense. And he actually has shown some downfield receiving ability too. He's caught a couple bombs from Jameis this year. At 4,100, I like the little guy to get some work down the field, because Washington, if we know anything about Washington this year, is that they are getting toasted down the field on deep balls. They cannot cover if they're in a cover 2 and you get their safeties to just a little hesitation. Those safeties are terrible, and they're hesitating a lot this year. The communication on the back end for Washington is killing them. And so New Orleans, I don't love their passing game because the receivers suck. Yeah, but that's something that Sean Payton, I know Sean Payton is a smart dude, and he's going to see that on tape.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm not playing anybody else on the Washington football team. I might play their defense, though, down at the 2,300. That's intriguing. And the reason it's intriguing is because Washington, Jameis Winston, right? Washington can intercept the ball. They can get some pressure. They haven't gotten a lot. Chase Young here getting lampooned and lambasted by the media here in Washington for not being able to get to the quarterback, because he said at the beginning of the year, him and Montez Sweat were going to set the all-time sack record. He has a big fat 0. I have the same amount of sacks as Chase Young, but he's got
sacks are not a sticky stat, especially when you have the talent along that line. Their hurry rate and hit rate is just as high as it was last year. The problem is the coverage behind them has been way worse. Yeah. So they're getting double teamed. They're expecting the same thing to happen last year, where they rush 4, they drop 7 into coverage, and they get home. Well, this year they're rushing 4. They're not quite getting there, but when they don't get home, the quarterback is saying, well, I have 2 guys wide open. I'm just going to throw it up, and one of them's going to catch it for a touchdown.
Yeah, well, and the good point you make, though, too, is that back in the back of the safeties, they're playing 2 strong safeties. They're not even playing real free safeties. They don't even know what they're doing.
That doesn't work in today's NFL either.
That's not good, because the strong safety is normally the guy who hits the ball carrier when he's in the backfield, and not the guy who is chasing down the wide receivers as much. So you don't want 2 strong safeties. You want a free safety and a strong safety. I mean, it's crazy. But Washington football team could turn Jameis over. What about on the other side? 3,100, a little expensive, but would you consider New Orleans or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Both defenses are in play for this one, because Heineke, everybody wants to crown Heineke as this great quarterback. Well, for fantasy, he has been, because he throws the ball a lot. They haven't been overly healthy at the running back position. Yeah. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of run blocking, but they've been throwing for 300 yards about every game. So Heineke, as terrible as he looks on the field, throwing picks and fumbling and taking sacks that he shouldn't, if he ends up with 300 yards on DraftKings, you're still happy with him. Yeah. But when you're positioning a defense, the Saints defense is a great play this week, because 31's not that much. No. I mean, I'm not going to spend up for the Patriots no matter how good their matchup is at 4,900. I can get some awesome flex plays for that. But at 31, I'm playing the Saints defense in a couple spots, because Heineke's even more turnover prone than Jameis Winston has been this year.
Yeah. And I haven't checked, but if there are any of those price pick interception totals in this game for either quarterback, go over big time. Yeah. I think both quarterback turn the ball.
There will be a pick 6 in this game. I'm just not sure who's going to get it.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right, let's jump to a game where there could very well be not a lot of defense played in the secondary on one side of the ball at all. I think Tampa Bay just signed Charles Woodson off the Hall of Fame list. What do you think about Miami, Tampa Bay? The betting public has bet away the hook. That is crazy. I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, what do you think about this matchup? And who are some of the players that you are considering playing in this game? Because there's a few for me.
Yeah, there's definitely a few. I'm not as excited about the Dolphins, because I think the Tampa Bay is going to cover that 10 pretty easily. Yeah, Miami's not good. Miami's not good at all. Bad. Their defense was supposed to be good. It's actually quite bad. Not quite as bad in the secondary, because they still have Xavier Howard and company, but they're really bad at stopping the run. 30th in the league. That's really, really bad, especially if you're facing a guy like Leonard Fournette, who seems to be healthy and running the ball well. Yeah. the reason why I'm not as heavy on Fournette in tournament play this week is because I believe we're going to get Gio Bernard back this week. And that would really cap the third down work that Fournette was enjoying, his receiving work he was enjoying when Gio was out last week. Ronald Jones is still there. He scored a touchdown last week despite not doing anything else. So Fournette, yeah, he's going to be really, really chalky at 5,200. It's a great price for cash games.
Yeah.
But if you're playing Fournette in a tournament, you're not going to have an edge. You're not going to have anything. So a Tom Brady stack with two of the three receivers that you really can't go wrong. I'm gonna say all three of these guys are viable in this game. So it's actually a really good leverage play because that's one of the best stacks out there out of this whole slate is Tom Brady and then two of his receivers. I have a Brady Evans Godwin stack. I have a Brady Godwin Brown stack. I have a Evans Brown stack. Even threw a Cameron Brate one in there because the Tom Brady stack that we won with in week 2, it's back in play without Gronk. It's just going to be just different cast of characters. But I don't think that I think I'll be a little heavier on Godwin and Brown because I believe Mike Edmonds is going to draw the Xavier Howard matchup.
Yeah, I'm with you too. And I also love Jalen Waddle at 4,800. I know that Run the Sims also likes Jalen Waddle, and they really like Jacoby Brissett. I think they have a projected for 19 fantasy points, only 4 points behind Tom Brady in this matchup. That's a little bullish for me. I know the Sims are 10,000 strong, so I don't want to fight against all of those Sims. But I will say there is a path for him, Brissett, that is to kind of get up there in the 18-point range, and it does involve Jalen Waddle because he's going to need a wide receiver or two to throw the ball because they're not going to be able to run the football at all. Last week, Damian Harris, 4 carries, -4 yards. That's going to set you back your career average just a bit.
It's not like they were setting the world on fire running the ball anyway until this point. So they might go negative rushing yards themselves. And
they might just drop back 50 times. What do you think? What's the over-under on dropbacks for Brissett? Is 50 a good number for him to actually drop back? I mean, probably get sacked 5 times. He'll probably throw the ball out of bounds, a handful of times. What do you think?
Oh, he's going to drop back 50 times, but he's going to throw it 38 times, and he's going to complete maybe 14 of them. The problem with Brissett this week is his ADOT is so low,
right,
that you're not going to get much quality out of that quantity, and that's what I'm afraid of. Is that Brissett's not going to be the guy that exploits the terrible secondary that Tampa has been left with all the injuries. They weren't a bad secondary to start the season. They're hurt all over. They have nobody left.
Not one.
And so that leads me to believe that Waddle is a good play, but not a great one. I'm not in love with Waddle at 4,800 because his ADOT is so low. He's basically catching the ball at the line of scrimmage.
Falling down.
And if I know anything about the Bucks is that they have really good linebackers and they can tackle in space. So I'm not as high on Waddle because they haven't run him down the field at all this year. The guy that they've been doing that with is Parker, and he's barely, I don't know if he's going to suit up because he's very questionable game time decision.
Right.
So Gesicki's the guy I'm really keying in on this week as a flex and as a tight end in all formats. Gesicki is a target monster. Brissett loves to throw to him in that middle of the field behind the linebackers in front of the safeties. Tampa's going to run a lot of zone because their personnel is lacking. I think this is a Gesicki monster week at 3,200.
Yeah, no, 4,200. But I do like if it was 3,200. I'd be calling my
No, 42. I misspoke. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's still 42 is good though. I have him in a lot of cash lineups. I think, and GPP lineups as well.
He's cheaper than Dalton Schultz, who's going to be way chalkier.
Oh yeah, we'll get to chalk later too. We're going to talk about some of the chalk we get to our lineup builder from Occupy Fantasy, which is later when we build our Milly Maker. But so stick around. We got a lot of things to do here. I put in a 5% stack with Gesicki and then a 5% stack with Waddle. Here's what I'm hoping for Waddle. I agree with you. Those little dink and dunks are not going to get him anything. But it comes down to the touchdown. Who's going to get the touchdown? Is it going to get Gesicki? Or is it going to be Waddle? That's where, for me, it's the make or break in this game. I think Gesicki has more once you get inside the 10-yard line. He's got a better chance, of course. I think Waddle, though, from the 25, 30 out, he's the better chance here. So we'll kind of see how that breaks down.
He's a 4-3 guy. Of course he is.
That's what I'm banking on. I actually put in my my cash, over there in some of the writing over at NimblewNumbers. I don't know if it was in the clash of the Beards and the Bellies, but
it is.
Yes,
I know you're rolling Waddle out against me. So
I am. Yeah, I mean, he's got the 4.3 speed, and so one of these times he's going to take one of those and just slip by somebody, get around somebody, and so if he does, this would be a nice game to cash those points, especially if I'm going up against Gesicki, which I'm not. But
not today, Satan.
Not today, Satan. Right. Yeah. No, I like that. I'm gonna have, these are my stacks. I'm gonna leave those alone, and we're gonna any other singleton plays from that game that you're looking, if you're not building it in a GPP, if you're going for cash, is there a preferred maybe wide receiver that you have for the Bucks? If you're cash only, you're gonna go for one and you're not stacking.
It'll be Chris Godwin. I love Chris Godwin, and then also Brown. Brown at 5,200 is a steal, especially he's 11 or double-digit targets last week, with everybody healthy except for Gronk. So right. I love Brown in the Z matchup against the Dolphins, because outside of Xavier Howard, they're not great. They're not terrible either, but they're just not. If you're not going against Xavier Howard, you got a pretty good shot of being open.
Yeah, well, and if my thought would be, you're going to have a moving Chris Godwin around type game. He's not going to be lining up in the same position again and again. You want to diversify that so that you can kind of break down that defense and get him into space. So
they tried to do that with the Patriots, but they shadowed him. So,
well, you know what? The Patriots are smart. So, and maybe Tampa is. You know, we know that Flores comes from the Belichick tree. But it's going to be very similar. I'm sure the coverage will be similar. All that kind of stuff will be there. But yeah, we'll see. I like Chriswin a lot this week as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's jump over to the turd of the Fergusons. If it wasn't for the New England game, it would just stand out like a sore thumb. Denver at the ghost of Ben Roethlisberger. It's a 40.
Is this not?
Oh my God!
This is the easiest over of the slate. Easiest over of the slate.
It is. These defenses are not that good.
They're good.
They're not that
good.
They're
good.
They're not.
Denver's is good. Denver's defense is really good.
Yeah,
they're good at all three levels too. I think Pittsburgh's going to be able to throw the ball a ton, like a lot like Jacoby Brissett is. You're seeing Ben Roethlisberger do the same thing, where it's just dump off. So Najee Harris is in play here for sure in all formats, because and Deontay Johnson's another one where it doesn't matter who you line up against Deontay Johnson, he's going to get open. And he has 0 drops this year. Wasn't I saying all offseason long, and you were too, that drops don't matter?
They don't.
Because you can't predict when they're going to happen and who's going to lead the league in drops. I believe Terrell Owens, Hall of Famer, led the NFL in drops like 4 different times.
Yeah, known Hall of Famer for many years, by the way.
Yeah, there's plenty of receivers out there that drop passes. Chris Godwin broke his finger last year late and dropped 4 passes in one game after not dropping any all year. You never know. Deontay's doesn't have terrible hands. He just lacks focus sometimes. And so far, he's been locked in.
Well, that price too. I mean, it's like
65.
Yeah, they don't understand. He's the number.
People are scared too because Denver's good. Denver's got a great defense, and so you're thinking, oh, why would I go after Deontay when I have all these other shiny receivers for a little bit more?
Right.
But Deontay at 65 is amazing. I love that.
Yeah, I think he's a great cash play, and he could be a great GPP play as well, for sure. What about on Denver's side here? Bridgewater's going to play, which is good. That's what we're thinking right now.
That's great.
It makes it a much better game. I thought that would push the total up, honestly. Bridgewater compared to Locke. Locke, this game is in the 30s just because they're so terrible.
Yeah.
He can't move the football. Bridgewater, I think he's competent, and he's done this for years. So, what do you think about this game? I'm actually switching my pick. Earlier this week we did the picks. We did scores, what we thought the games were going to be. I picked Pittsburgh to win. Now that we have our Teddy Bridgewater insert, I am canceling that. I'm going over to Denver, winning by 3. Did you have Denver, Pittsburgh in that matchup? By the way,
I had Denver the whole time.
Look at you, motherfucker. All right. What do you think happens? Where are you kind of predicting the breakout, or is this a game you're kind of just going to fade if it's not for one-offs?
There'll be some one-offs. I'll have a Teddy Bridgewater stack with Cortland Sutton and Noah Fant. I'll have a one-off with Denver defense stacked with Javonte Williams because 4,900 for Javonte against Pittsburgh, who's not that good. They're historically good, but they haven't been sacked. They're a lot like Washington, where they're not getting to the quarterback as well. and their back end is really bad.
They're tripping the quarterback, though. They are tripping the quarterback.
Yeah, but their back end secondary is so bad, and it's so exposed.
Yeah.
And so Cortland Sutton's due for a big game. Noah Fant due for a big game. And then Javonte Williams, if Denver does break this one open because their defense is getting after Ben and forcing lots of turnovers, that stack with Javonte and the Denver defense is looking at me, and it's smiling.
Yeah. No, I like that. It's smiling at me too. On the other side, for Pittsburgh, I like you touched on Najee Harris. PPR machine so far through the first
easy money in cash, and very overlooked in GPPs because I think he's 6,900 and he's projecting under 5% rostership this week. I'll take that.
That's a leverage play right there. I think Sal Vetri, he does the that one guy every week, and I think Najee Harris. I haven't checked Sal's that one guy. I'll do it tomorrow, but I'd be surprised if Najee Harris wasn't in there given his value. I know Kirk Cousins was in there for the quarterbacks, but anyway, good calls across the board. Let's talk about a fun game, a game I really hope they keep cutting back to. Scott Hansen goes, we've got another crazy fucking play in this game, and then they cut back to
it's usually the Vikings are involved too.
always, which I love.
The Vikings are the most fun team to watch this season because they don't play any defense, and they have so many explosive players on offense that it's just fireworks every week.
It is. So in this, I was wondering, would you skinny stack or would you double stack? Yeah, because you're paying up. You're paying up. I think there's better double stack prices, particularly Dak, CeeDee Lamb, and Amari Cooper are cheaper as a double stack option, and I think a little bit just less rostered as well. But what would you do this? Skinny stack? Would you run it back? How would you kind of play this? Because we're going to build some little stacks here.
So I do like to I like a leverage stack with Jared Goff. Jared Goff and Quintez Cephas running it back with Jefferson. But what I find myself doing is spending up for the big double stack, or going double stack with one of Jefferson and Thielen and then Tyler Conklin.
Oh, I do like that. Let me go change.
Conklin's projecting to be an easy value at 3,500.
Yeah. Would you double stack them, or would you pull out the?
I'd pull out one of the receivers, and I have a stack with Cousins, Jefferson, Conklin, and a stack with Cousins, Thielen, Conklin. And then, of course, I have multiple Cousins, Thielen, Jefferson, where I spend a bunch of money on it.
Yeah, I mean, I like spending a bunch of money, too. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm actually going to put on the other side our guy, somebody, maybe you've heard of him, DeAndre Swift. I don't know. He's a guy that people
and DraftKings hates him.
They hate him. They hate him. They absolutely hate him. Which is, I'm okay with it. So what do you think about this? Well, I'm going to get rid of Adam Thielen here. Oh, here we go. What about this one? Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Swift, Tyler Conklin. What about that one? That one looks...
The price on that one is beautiful.
And the value, 3.08. Oh, my gosh. That's a great price per dollar. Yeah, it's one of the best ones I've seen in a long time. Any other ones that you did mention a Quintez Cephas. Do you want me to jump back in here and build a golf?
Yeah.
Golf?
I do want to exploit this Vikings secondary because it's so bad.
Right.
And we know Detroit will throw the ball a lot.
They do throw the ball quite a bit.
There's a lot to be said about which Lions receiver it's going to be, whether it's Khalif Raymond or Quintez Cephas or Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Right.
Hawkinson looks pretty banged up, so even if he suits up, he's not going to be much of a factor, I don't think, because his game is running those quick little inside routes.
Yeah.
And if he's compromised with a bruised up knee, is what I've heard him say, is just from getting hit on the knees a bunch, his mobility is going to be limited. And that concerns me as a play, especially when he's the second most expensive tight end.
Yeah, I was going to say that with no Kelsey, they priced up Waller a little exorbitantly, I believe. And then they've also kind of kept those. Well, we'll talk about that later. They've kept some of those mid-range prices up at the tippy top, where I don't like paying for them, especially when they're questionable, and they are actually questionable. Unlike our guy DeAndre Swift, who's secretly not questionable. I mean, he is, but he just plays.
He'll be questionable every week, and he'll play every week, and he'll produce just about every week.
Yeah. No,
the Vikings are the produced team.
I know. I agree. And if you're going to produce, it's going to be against the Vikings,
So another sneaky, not really questionable might be Dalvin Cook. We don't know yet.
Let's do this. So let's go back and let's run back. We'll run back. We'll take away everybody on that side and we will rerun it so that we have Goff. Oh, yeah. Cook. Who do you want to put with Cook? Because we've got Goff and one wide receiver. I mean, we can do anybody. Amon St. Brown. We've got Quintez Cephas, Khalif Raymond. Who are you leaning towards?
I like Cephas.
You like Cephas. Okay. Let's give ourselves a little.
Because Khalif was nice when he was down at 44 and under. But now that he's at 48, he just doesn't do it for me anymore.
A little too priced up. No, I'm with you.
Because at 48, you also have Waddle and Laviska Shenault. So it's like, you don't belong here, dude.
No, it's one of those things. One of these things just doesn't belong here.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's go to Philadelphia and Carolina. A game I actually does think hits the over. Because these teams do have better offense.
This is a bad line.
Yeah, I don't know, Vegas. You fucked it up on this one, which is good for us. Let's get out of the stacking tool though. Let's look at the scores. The player pool here has a lot of interesting players here for Carolina and for Philly. Where do you want to start? Who's one of your better plays from this matchup?
Jalen Hurts.
Right.
7,000 priced up, which is only going to drive down his popularity, which I love it because 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, Jalen Hurts is up there in production with Kyler Murray.
Right.
I mean, he's not winning games at the same rate because the Eagles' defense is so bad, but that only helps us even more to get Jalen Hurts rushing and garbage time production. Jalen Hurts is this year's Blake Bortles from 2015. Where his defense is so bad and the rest of his team is so bad that he probably won't do anything the first half of the game and maybe in the first 3 quarters, but his fourth quarters are going to be very profitable for us. I'm all about Jalen Hurts this week because Carolina, they got put on tape last week.
Yeah. No, they did get put on tape, and they got put on tape without CeeDee Lamb doing anything. Without they threw 10 completions or 10 targets to the wide receiver. Nothing happened to the wide receivers. It was a tight end bonanza. Guess what? Philly's got 2 tight ends. So it's going to be interesting. And then also Jalen Hurts is second in rushing in the NFL and the quarterbacks behind Lamar Jackson. That is their number 1 running back, BTW. You drafted Miles Sanders. I'll pull one out for you when Sober October.
No, it couldn't be me because I drafted Kenny Gainwell.
I have zero shares of Miles.
I have this many Miles Sanders shares, and I have all of the Kenny Gainwell. So if you're in a league with me, you don't have Kenny Gainwell because he's mine.
Yes, yeah. And this is how many fucks I give that you were fooled by Miles Sanders. Okay. Don't play Miles Sanders in this game. I'm actually going to lean a little bit away from Kenny Gainwell too. Yeah, I'm not going to be.
This isn't because Carolina has been doing a great job at covering running backs. That was one thing we noticed that I thought Tony Pollard had a pretty decent matchup last week, but nope, they locked him down. When Tony Pollard was on the field, they covered the flat really well. That little swing pass that they dump it off to Pollard and just let him do his thing in the open field, that didn't work.
Yeah,
and that was why the tight ends got so much run because they were the only guys open. This Carolina defense is pretty talented. They're young. They're exploitable with good double moves, with good schemes and route trees, which Philly's definitely capable of doing with Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. Mm-hmm. But you're not going to see the breakout performance come from the backfield in this game.
No, I mean, that's not going to say that people don't run for maybe 50 yards or pick up a touchdown here or there, but you're not going to have a signature backfield leading scoring 25, 30 points, whatever it is. If Gainwell does go for 6 receptions for 45 yards, something like that, that's great. That's great. It's gravy. I love that. That could happen. I've noticed one thing about a lot of his receptions. They're not designed receptions across the board. Jalen is scrambling, and then Gainwell's so smart. He keeps his head on a swivel. As soon as he moves outside the pocket, he moves to
He
space.
wants the ball.
He wants the ball. He wants the ball. You can see it. It's understanding how the game is played, and he gets at a higher level as a running back to come in and to be, one of the top 10 PPR backs already in the league. That's saying a lot when you have Miles Sanders on your team, who came into the league and he was supposed to be a PPR kind of guy. He could catch the ball, and all he did was drop the football. So we understand why they drafted Gainwell. So I do like Gainwell over Miles Sanders the rest of the year, by the way, if you're asking. We did have one question. What do you think about Jamar Chase from Brad Montgomery in the comments? He asked, is he a wide receiver 1-2 / rest of the season? I think more 2-3. What about you?
Yeah, a solid 2.
Yeah, solid 2.
His touchdown streak is going to level off because you're going to see all those 9 routes that they've been letting him run with basically man-on-man coverage. They're not going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, he's just a rookie. Oh, he didn't do anything in the preseason. Yeah, that whole thing's been on tape where pretty much all of his touchdowns have been like, all right, Jamar, just run straight down the field and I'm going to drop a lollipop in your breadbasket. And that's Joe Burrow throws a beautiful deep ball, and the man coverage we found Jamar Chase is pretty stinking good, and he can burn you on a 9 route, and he's done it 4 times this year.
You got to stop the 9 route, folks. He goes downtown every time on that one. I mean, that's just it's basic.
Yeah. And yes, he can catch the ball really well.
He's good. He's good. We know there's no McCaffrey. Well, he's doubtful, but that
he's not playing.
He's not playing. Any running backs at all on the other side? You priced up Chuba Hubbard. You interested in that at all? Or is that just too expensive at that price?
This is the only spot where I'll even consider Chuba Hubbard.
Okay.
He's not a good player. He never will be. But this is a very good matchup for any running back that can be put in space with a passing game. Like Carolina likes to run. They like to put their running backs in the flat. They like to run little Texas routes. Chuba can run routes. He's got bricks for hands, but he can run routes.
Right.
And yeah, I think that there's an outside chance that Chuba has a good game. And so I do have a couple little Chuba sprinkles on the back end, on the run back end of leverage playoff DJ Moore, who's going to be incredibly chalky. And as I have a lot of Jalen Hurts, and I have a lot of Devontae Smith, and I have a lot of Dallas Goedert. So a couple of those run backs, I'm going with Chuba instead of DJ Moore.
Yeah, let's build one of those run backs right now. Right, we've got Hurts, Smith, Chuba Hubbard, Dallas Goedert. I like it.
That's the one.
That's the one right there. Yeah,
that's the exact one I've been running.
I'm going to give us that one. Add it to our list of stacks over here. Let's see the percentage at. We're at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and then 30, and this is going to be 32. So we got a lot of stackage left to do. We can stack up a lot. We can build another stack from this game if you want to with Sam Darnold. Actually,
let's do that because he's not going to have any popularity, and it's crazy to think that he's averaging 24 points a game, and nobody wants him. And Philly's defense is atrocious.
Yeah, not good. Would you want to run this back or make it a skinny stack?
Skinny.
All right, this is going to be the Paris Hilton stack. You're going to go DJ Moore. You want to go Robbie Anderson to mix it up, value wise. Yeah.
If we're going skinny, you don't worry about DJ Moore's popularity because Sam is not.
There you go. I love that. Offsetting one person's popularity, pairing them up with somebody who is not. I mean, it's an easy. They talk about this on Osmo all the time, which I love. Shout out Osmo, all those guys over there. My guy Jordan Vanek is over there. I saw him on the program with Lofty this week, and Ben, love that. That was great.
We're both fanboys for Jordan Vanek.
Yeah, we love Jordan
in general.
Yeah, love you guys. So, but anyway, I'm digressing now. I just totally lost my train of thought. I'm just thinking of Jordan, his nice beard he had. But where was I? I'm sorry. Bring me back.
We were talking about Philly, Carolina, and you were plugging in a skinny stack. You were just saying how Osmo loves the skinny stack when you can leverage a chalky play with a less chalky play.
Yeah, and this is the point. Yeah. So we're not doing this now, but one thing you can do. Hey, Michael Kenneth Collins, welcome. Michael's favorite.
I know that guy.
Yeah, you do know that guy. This is Ralph for folks who don't know Ralph. Mike's favorite stack of the week is this stack. This is his favorite value stack, mid stack, the sirloin stack of the week.
It would be
6,600. Yeah, and then 7,500. Is that what it is? So not too bad. I like it a lot as well.
That's more of a New York strip than a sirloin,
It is.
and that's why Sam Darnold's not exactly that popular this week, because he got a nice little hike in price.
Rightly so. He's like the fourth best quarterback, and he's still way priced down.
He leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns.
He's got 5 of them, folks. So pay attention.
That's more than Derrick Henry, more than Zeke, more than all the other guys.
Yeah, it's tied with Cooper Kupp. So everyone loves Cooper Kupp. That's why you got to compare everything to Cooper Kupp now. Like, how many Cooper Kupps is it? That's a whole Cooper Kupp. So in case you wanted to know, that's a full Cooper Kupp full up. Just by rushing, not even by passing. So no, I like this a lot, and we're going to have that in our stacks. Next game is Turd Ferguson. I don't like this game. I might play Jacoby Myers at 5,300 just because he's sexy, but that's it. That's it. And that's
everybody said, I've heard all the sharps in the world say Jacoby Myers, blah, 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 Jacoby Myers. The dude carries an EpiPen for his touchdown allergies. That's just not. If I'm playing a tournament, if I'm in a tournament, I don't want 15 points from
no.
I want a guy who's going to get that 15 points from the volume that Jacoby will probably get, and he's also going to score a touchdown to make it 21 points, and that's when you make your money.
Yeah.
So miss me with the Jacoby Myers, because it's a fake play.
I'm going to say I'm only playing him in cash, and the reason is the 9
great cash play
and the 8 targets. That is why, because it's just that's it. But you're going to get 16 points, 15, 14, 18, one of those things. That's fine. That's good. That's not going to win you the GPP you want for 5,300.
Nope.
You should go down 500 to this game, and then you should pick somebody else named Laviska Shenault. And we'll talk about that
or
right
Marvin
now.
Jones,
or Marvin Jones.
This game is gonna go way over.
Yeah.
48.5 that's easy money. If you're parlaying at home, New Orleans, Washington over 43.5, and then Tennessee, Jacksonville over 48.5. That's your nice way to go five times your money on a 2-game parlay.
Well, and if you want to add in the Philly 45.5 with Carolina and go over that too. Yeah. All right, I got 2 wide receivers here from Jacksonville. Would you be daring enough to double stack the Jacksonville wide receivers with Shenault and Jones? That's crazy, right?
It would be extremely brave. I wouldn't do it.
Would you, in the same game, stack James Robinson with either one of those, or are we cutting into each other here? No, okay, I like that. What's our run back from Tennessee? We're going Derrick Henry, right? Big dog.
Either Derrick Henry or AJ Brown.
All right, I'm gonna put one with Derrick Henry. I've got one here.
AJ Brown's your leverage pick of the week, and I think it's still leverage even if he reaches 15% popularity. But that's just because Derrick Henry's going to be 30+%.
He is,
which still isn't that bad because he's 9,000. People are making these business decisions on whether or not to play him in a tournament. He's going to be like 90% plus in cash games for good reason.
Of course,
but in a tournament, everybody's going to be like, oh, do I kind of pivot down to Kamara or Cook or something like that?
Yeah, Eckler.
Or do I spend up at wide receiver like I found myself doing on all the non-Derrick Henry lineups that I have? I'm basically going with 3 stud wide receivers and then spending down at running back.
I like that. If you're trying to get Derrick Henry and you have to be creative, I took the Marvin Jones, James Robinson, Derrick Henry, and the Laviska Shenault, James Robinson, Derrick Henry. Put them in each for 3.
What happened to Trevor Lawrence?
We're going to build that one next. You can't build the 2 stacks at the same time. You know what I mean? So, I guess I could put him in, but I'll put him in here. Here we go. All right. I'll do that. All right. Who?
Because this game's going to shoot.
This game is going to shoot.
There is no defense to be played in this one.
No, I'm going to give these each 3%. And then let me go over here, see if I can get rid of the other one I built that did not have Trevor in it. Yeah, this one. I'm going to move it down to 0. There you go. Look at that. Just disappears. And then one more I got to disappear here. Look at that. Bloop. There you go. That's so I love it. It's so perfect. It's such an easy thing to run the Sims. Guys, if you haven't signed up for Run the Sims, please do. By the way, Brad had a question. Waddle, Mike Davis, Pittman, who you playing in flex? I'm going Waddle. Who are you going?
Yeah, definitely Waddle.
Yeah, definitely Waddle. And then VCG, which could probably stand for Vivacious. No, I'm kidding. It says, who would you start? I'm just kidding. Latavius Murray or Kenneth Gainwell? I would go Latavius Murray. Who would you go?
Yeah.
Latavius Murray.
No, it's Murray. Yeah.
It's Murray.
Murray's going to get more carries, and they can run the ball.
Yes, they can.
He's washed up and old, but he's pretty much all they got.
That's it. That's all they have. I'm going to put a AJ Brown stack in here as well. I'll give him a what?
Oh.
Yeah, I'll get a little 2% in there as well. And then we're going to run this in a few minutes when we're going to see what our lineups could generate. I'm very excited about this. All right, let's jump. Anybody else from the Tennessee-Jacksonville game that you're going to be playing or no?
I ran the opposite side with Tannehill and a bounce back. Tannehill, AJ Brown, Derrick Henry stack, and I ran it back with Visca. And then I had another one where I ran it back with Robinson, but that wasn't quite as. So yeah, I got.
Well, let's just put a little. We'll put 3% of that in there. We got Ryan Tannehill,
that's the one right
and Derrick Henry. Look how easy it is. You just told me, and I just stuck it in there in like 6 seconds. I love RuntheSims, man.
He's so nimble.
It's just, hey, you know what? That could stick. Be careful. Be careful. People might actually start calling you that or something. That'd be terrible. All right. Green Bay, Cincinnati. We're getting to the biggest total of the week right now so far.
Way under.
Yeah, this game is not going to get here. Did you guys watch the last game with Pittsburgh? And Pittsburgh is worse than Cincinnati.
Yep.
That's not good. What do you think about this game, though? My game script is 24 20 Green Bay, something like that, 27-20. So what do you think is going to happen?
I got to find the score I put on this game because it's going to be under. I don't know. I might hit 46, 47, but I have Green Bay 28-21. So I have a 49 total.
Okay.
Winning by a touchdown, 4 touchdowns on the board for the Packers. I figured 2 or 3 of those are going to be Aaron Rodgers to somebody. I'm actually liking Aaron Jones in this game more than anybody. It's a huge leverage play off of Davante Adams, who's going to have all the ownership.
Yeah, I love that too. I love it when people are like, no one played him last week and he was terrible. I'll play him this week. Like, oh man, no one thought of that. Good for you.
This just screamed. Remember earlier this season when a similar matchup arose where the Packers were playing the Detroit Lions in prime time. Do you remember what happened with Aaron Jones?
He scored like 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, he scored 4 touchdowns, and 3 of them were passes from Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, I like that guy. That guy's got some, weird looking hair coming out the back of his, trying to do a Trevor Lawrence thing.
I'm waiting for the big reveal on Halloween. That's going to be great.
Oh, I can't wait to, man. It's going to be so much fun. What do you think he's going to be, by the way?
Oh, I can't even fathom getting inside of that guy's brain. So I'm not going to guess. I'm just going to let it happen and react to it when it's there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a patchouli dripping, Rasta guy. Maybe that.
I hope it's eastbound and down is what I hope.
That would be hilarious.
Kenny
Powers would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you get this right, we're going to send this to him and we'll say, hey, he called it Kenny Powers. Maybe you could meet him one day, shake his hand, even talk to him. I don't know. We'll put it.
Been there, done that, Scott.
NimblewNumbers production. We'll get it there. All right. In this game, we have T. Higgins returning. We have Tyler Boyd he's been on a heater lately. How is this going to affect the wide receiver dynamics? Is it going to take a little bit for T. Higgins to get kind of involved, still kind of riding Boyd, or is it going to kind of be a crapshoot, kind of just spread out and away from Jair Alexander?
Well, Jair's on IR now.
Oh, I didn't get. Good for
him.
Yeah,
he just got put on IR. That's why a lot of people are hitting the 51 over, because
T. Higgins is back. It's still a good secondary, by the way.
It's okay. It's okay.
Not terrible. It's not terrible.
It's average. It's average. They're better, a lot better at stopping the run than they were last year.
Well, they don't have a running game. Cincinnati's got no running game with Joe Mixon.
Well, they do. Joe Mixon is banged up, but he's probably going to play. He's a mild sprained ankle. He's going to play. How well he plays is going to be to be seen.
Right.
The problem with this attack is that if Joe Mixon doesn't look good, Samaje Perine looks worse. That's why Joe Mixon's probably going to play. He's like, you know what? Samaje Perine is terrible, so we're going to ignore that. I just think that Green Bay is going to get out in front, and they're going to just kind of let off the gas and let it roll to the finish. A lot like the Detroit game. I really think this is going to be a repeat of the Detroit game.
Is there any stacks that you're favoring given that scenario and what that plays out in points wise, where you think that will go? I did build some stacks here, but you can correct them. I have Aaron Jones or a running back, a wide receiver, Aaron Rodgers, and then a comeback from the Bengals.
I love the Higgins one because 5,000 for him is extremely good value.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I like that
but
too.
Chase, Boyd. I think Boyd's going to go back to his low A-dot slot role now that Higgins is back. Chase is always a great tournament play because of his big playability. But T. Higgins, man, he's the total package.
Are you trying to get away from Davante Adams in this because he's so expensive?
If I'm playing Davante, it's in a stack with Rodgers and Jones.
And let's see if we can find a run back with Higgins. That's
the expensive Packers stack. It'll break your bank because they're all gold-plated studs, but think about the points. Think about what you could score with that stack.
Oh, here it is. This one right here, the T. Higgins.
That's the one. Yep.
Yeah, let's give ourselves about 5 of those.
5%.
I like that. That's excellent stack there. Aaron Rodgers can go off at any time. Doesn't mean he's going to. He didn't go off last game. He did okay. I mean, he didn't do terribly. I did pick him against you, and I was hoping to get one more touchdown out of him. But, you know, what are you going to do? Wouldn't have mattered. Still would have lost. Any interest in any of the other tertiary plays here for this, or really just
CJ Uzomah?
Oh, I like it. Let me jump back to the player pool here. What are we seeing out of him in a rostership? Ooh,
probably
nothing. Oh my gosh!
It would have been higher had T. Higgins missed another week because that was the opportunity cost right there. But even before Higgins was hurt, Uzomah looked good as that move the chains tied in. Where he's I mean, coming off an Achilles, the dude looks great.
Oh man, he looks so athletic and powerful. Like his whole
he's
upper
humongous
body.
too.
Yeah, holy
that's
shit.
A big dude.
I like him. Let me ask you, speaking of another big dude, we haven't gotten to the game yet. We'll kind of jump to it in a second. Who would you play in redraft? Uzomah, or would you play Jared Cook this week?
Uzomah.
I'd like to make a pivot in my BFFs league. Thank you for that hot take there. Let's jump over to this next game, by the way. Good segue. By the way, any interest in Tunyon or in Dylan or, you know, anybody else who's kind of, all right. Cleveland, this is an interesting game. This total is interesting because the LA Chargers, I'm about to call them the San Diego Chargers, the LA Chargers play actually a good brand of defense, right? And then on the other side, Baker Mayfield has a torn labrum, and he's not good at throwing to begin with. And then you have the torn labrum.
Oh, yes, he is.
Okay, fine. He's okay at it, but not. He can't withstand a torn labrum good. He missed Odell Beckham Jr. for 3 wide open, maybe 1-2 scores.
And I had Beckham in tournaments everywhere, and it hurt. It hurt.
Oh, it hurt bad. And I think our guy, Ian Hartett, summed it up. He had all 3 on a loop on a video, and then he just said pain. And it showed every single drop / it wasn't even a drop. Ball thrown behind him, over his head. I mean, just missing
threw it behind on that go route.
Oh man! I mean, he had him wide open in the end zone too for the little, around the corner there, and the end. I just made me so upset. Yeah. Anyway, a question though, real quick, before we jump there, Higgins, Waddle, or Brandon Cooks. I would say I'm leaning Waddle, but you might be going volume with Higgins or upside with Higgins. Yeah, upside with Higgins. Yeah, I'm the safe guy here. Look at this. We're switching roles. You're going more GPP. And I'm going more cash. It's what we're learning, I guess. This game, weird total. I'm taking the under in this. What do you think about the total?
It's a weird one. This game is hard to read because these teams match up kind of like they're gonna butt heads. So I see the under narrative there for sure. But if Cleveland takes that Dallas game plan and applies it to the Chargers, because if we know anything about the Cleveland Browns is they have a similar dynamic in their backfield as the Cowboys. They have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, just like the Cowboys have Zeke and Pollard. And the difference is the Cowboys had the threat in the back. It was like, oh, we don't have to throw the ball, but if we need to, look who we got.
Right.
And the Chargers are death to wide receivers. So I think the most likely thing is that they're going to run the ball right down LA's throat. That's their only way they're going to win, because Mayfield's injured and his receiving core outside of Odell Beckham is terrible. So you have a compromised passing game against the best pass defense in the NFL. And then you have a great tandem of running backs against an okay run defense. But that's how you beat them. That's how you beat the Chargers.
Right.
The only time we've seen them look mortal was against the Cowboys, where the Cowboys were like, hey, we got this sledgehammer in Zeke, and we got this electric fast guy, Tony Pollard. And whichever one is going to be hot, which happened to be Pollard in that game, where they can get, if they can get Chubb and Hunt on the perimeter on those stretch plays like they do with Pollard, the Browns might run away and hide with this one. And so I think that the Chargers don't exactly match up well on the defensive end here, but they definitely match up well on the offensive end. Herbert is not going to be popular, which is crazy. The secondary for the Browns is pretty good, but it's not Chargers good. And their pass rush is the reason why their secondary is looking good. But Herbert, he could carve that Cleveland secondary up, because he's a lot more athletic than people give him credit for. And Brandon Staley is going to be ready for that pass rush.
Oh, for sure. And Justin Herbert priced down this week, and so is Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen is 6,500. I don't know if I've seen Keenan Allen that low in the last 2 years. I'll have to go back and check for sure. But that to me was my stack, my sirloin stack of the week. I went a little cheaper than Collins on my sirloin, but not my sirloin. No, sirloin's his best one. Oh, his New York strip. I think that's what he called it.
Yeah.
The New York strip. I do like Keenan Allen this week. What do you think about coming off of last week? Mike Williams barely even scratch and sniff the surface of the points.
Called it.
Yeah, we did. We faded him big time. We played Austin Eckler, by the way. Shout out Bowman big time, picking him as the captain. Didn't you win something like $8,000 or something like that off of that?
It was yeah.
Yeah, it was. Okay, I spoke the truth. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Bo helped someone win.
It was the combination of Eckler in the captain spot and fading Mike Williams.
You got to fade Mike Williams last week. What about this week? Greedy Williams. We got another Williams. We got Williams on Williams. Is that what we're going to do? Maybe?
Denzel Ward.
Oh, well, yeah, that guy too. Yeah.
Greedy's going to be up against Allen, which is why I like Allen. Williams getting Denzel Ward is really tough.
That's bad. I thought Denzel Ward would be on Keenan Allen, even though I like him at 65. I thought he would just have to man up.
Ward's not a slot corner, and you'll have Williams at X and Allen in the slot. That's usually what the arrangement is, and that's why last week you had Casey Hayward up against Mike Williams, and that was the matchup. I was like, don't go with Williams because Casey Hayward's going to lock him down. And sure enough,
he's good, and Mike Williams not as good.
Well, he's good, but it's a really tough matchup, and with how bad the other corners have been compared to Denzel Ward or Casey Hayward, is you're getting a funnel elsewhere, and that's why Keenan Allen and Jared Cook had such big games, because they were in the middle of the field where the weaker defensive backs were.
I like that. If we are going to build a stack, and we are,
Herbie,
Herbie stack. I'm horny for Herbie. I hope that's not been coined yet, because I'm
sure it has.
I'm coining it right now. I also want to put Eckler in there and make it a little bit of a thicker stack. Is that okay? Is that appropriate?
We're about girth on this show.
Thank you. Well, I had to say, we haven't said it yet. We are the world's sexiest DFS show for now. We are. If we have Jordan back here ever, it'll get sexier for sure. Oh man. Yeah, here we go. The Keenan Allen. Oh, I didn't run it back with anybody on the other side. Oops. Let me get a running back in here. Cause I do like some running backs. Kareem Hunt is our guy here. And here we go. We'll get 5% here at this. I like the 2.71 points per dollar projection too. That makes me happy. It's one of the higher ones that we've seen. That's nice.
Adorable.
That is sexy as hell. What do you think about? And I do need to kind of go over here, but what do you think about the defense for the Chargers in this game? You think they're going to just get run over, so they're not worth it at all? They're just going to kind of get bludgeoned, or are they worth the price? Because they're only
2,700. They are my cash defense. All my cash builds will have the Chargers defense.
No,
every single one.
I like that a lot. There's not going to be a lot of passing that goes on in this game. That's going to limit the total, and that's why I said that total is so high. I didn't understand it. 47. Right. I mean, that's just a smash under for me.
Just think about the Dallas and Chargers game was an under.
Yeah. No, it was an under, and that's the Dallas freaking Cowboys.
Yeah.
So
that was the Chargers in back-to-back weeks locked down the 3 top offenses in the NFL. They locked down Dallas. They lost, but they locked down Dallas. They locked down Kansas City in Arrowhead. And then they went to the 3-0 Raiders, who were on pace to break the greatest show on turf for yards per game. And then they didn't even crack half of that against the Chargers. So maybe the Chargers defense is really stinking good.
I think it is. And also, Pat Mahomes just didn't look like Pat Mahomes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because all of his guys were covered.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, no, I like that play on the defense. We're not going to stack them here because you don't need to do that.
You can do an Eckler. You can do an Eckler Charger stack, but I'm using this for cash because I love the compromised passing game against such a great pass defense. That's going to really limit how many points the Browns can score.
Yeah, I also do have to do a little callback here to GT 500. We would say something about Tom if he was on the DraftKings main slate. And because Chalk Blocked is all about blocking that chalk on the main slate, we were not going to get to the GOAT today. But I will say I am a fan of the GOAT. Well, no, we actually already got to the GOAT. We were way before it. We were talking about the GOAT like long.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, we talked about him like hours ago. Never mind. I'm sorry. My brain just fell off the cliff. No, we talked about him like 30 minutes ago. So you missed it.
Yeah, the young GOAT and the other young GOAT are not on the main slate. They're playing tomorrow night.
My goats are getting mixed up here because the young GOAT. The new goats. Yeah, the new goats. We'll say that. Not really. They're just the wannabe goats.
Yeah, they're good.
They're good. They are good.
Herbie's up there with them too.
Oh man, yeah, he is. Somebody who's not up there with him, Derek Carr. Joey Bosa called him out last week and basically said he's a big pussy. That's what he said. He said whenever someone comes near him, he lays down and gets in the fetal position.
Well, you got to hit him first.
Yeah, but then after that,
the first 3 weeks he didn't get hit, and so he picked everybody apart. And that's what I wrote in my article in the Showdown Blast. Is like, yeah, Derek Carr in a clean pocket is going to light you up like a Christmas tree. Yes. But if you pop him, if you hit him, if you sack him, if you get it, you break that pocket down. It's exactly like Joey Bosa said. This is what I see every year from Derek Carr is if you get a team with a bad pass rush that can't get after him, he's going to light them up. And if you light him up first, he is completely useless.
Yeah,
absolutely useless.
He might be completely useless because Khalil Mack might be saying hello to him again. And I don't know how the relationship was when he was there before, but he might owe him some poker money or something. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna be in his
with my money, ho.
Yeah, give me that money right now.
Don't make me come back here.
I'm fading Derek Carr at 6,100, but what about Justin Fields at 5,200? That's a little tasty right there.
I'm not fading Derek Carr all the way. I'm going to have some stacks because the Bears they're one of those defenses that's we don't bend, but we do break. They're just rigid. They're really rigid. They're the opposite of the Cowboys who give up a ton of yards and then just turn you over. The Bears will hold you to nothing and then 50-yard touchdown.
That is true.
So and the Raiders do that pretty well where they can take those deep shots. Pretty much John Gruden loves taking shots all game long. So whether it's Ruggs or Waller or Edwards even, I'm going to take some shots stacking some Raiders against the Bears.
Any run backs for the Bears that you're interested in? Darnell Mooney, perhaps?
Yeah, I love Mooney, and he's still priced down for what he's been doing, and that's the one thing I do like. I do have a little bit of A-Rob sprinkled in because he's at such a disrespectful price, and he is due,
Terrible.
and
Yeah.
and nobody wants him. So I still have a special place in my heart for Allen Robinson because he's won me a lot of money over the years.
Can't give up on him right away. I mean,
I'm not going to give up on him. He's still playing well. He's just not producing for fantasy.
He's cheaper than Henry Ruggs. He's cheaper than Henry Ruggs. I'm just going to say that.
That's
hilarious. Wild. That's crazy. That's insane. I'm going to tweet that out after the show or tomorrow morning and just say, hey, for context, just for context, this is shitty. All right. I did build some stacks there. I built one with Carr. And I didn't want to do one with Hunter Renfrow. Ugh, that was gross. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. I want to do one with Ruggs since that's our upside. Waller, Mooney, and Carr. And then any Fields. You want to build any Fields? You want to go into Justin Fields land at all or no?
I like him in cash games, but no, I'm not.
Really I'm with you too. Not stack attacking him. All right, we've got 2 games left, and they might be 2 of my favorites, by the way. The Dallas Cowboys are hosting the New York Giants. I've never heard of them.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, I've heard the Cowboys. I've never heard of this other team. They probably are not that great. No, this is going to be a divisional matchup.
They beat the Saints last week.
They did beat the Saints, and I'm surprised that the Dallas is favored by a whole touchdown. And I thought it'd be closer to 5.5. What do you think about this matchup? Is this the best game? This is the highest total game. It is on paper, but does it shoot over this? Is it going to be a 60-point game? What's it going to look like?
I think it's pretty appropriate, 52. I think I have the Cowboys beating them pretty easily. The Cowboys are just so much better at every level in this game. But I do want to stack this game. It's going to be because a lot of these high octane offenses are off the main slate. A lot of people, it's going to be like a bug zapper. It's going to attract a lot of attention. So one way to get off of that chalk is to just stack the ever living bejesus out of the game where you have 5 guys from the game instead of sprinkling in and then grabbing a CD Lamb randomly where he might be 20% owned. It's you have to think about, okay, how can I maximize my upside at the same time as not being the same as everybody else? But this game is going to be high scoring. I just don't know if it's going to be 60. I don't know if it'll hit 60, but I think 50, 55 is pretty appropriate.
Let's build some stacks here. I like stacks on both sides. What do you think about the Daniel Jones Saquon stack? Because we're doing it in cash. Is that just crazy or is that just cash?
No, it's a great play.
Yeah,
Daniel Jones is going to put up numbers tomorrow. I haven't seen a single projection that says Daniel Jones is not going to put up 30 fantasy points tomorrow.
No, I think he is going to hit big time. Here's the question: are you playing any wide receivers at all from the Giants? Because there's a guy there that you like. Yeah, I want you to draw him out a bit there. What's his name? I forget him.
Well, I don't really like him, but I'm playing him. Kenny Galladay.
That's what I meant. You like him today? I just meant in the context.
5,900 for Kenny Galladay is an extreme value.
Yeah,
because he didn't really do anything the first couple of weeks, but then when you see Slayton and Shepard go out with injury, he came alive, and holy crap, he's actually playing hard for the first time since 2018 with Detroit. He was playing hard. He was getting open and making big plays, and the Cowboys will give up those big plays. They're probably going to turn Daniel Jones over 2 or 3 times at least, but they're still going to score points on the Cowboys.
Yeah. No, I do. I like these stacks here. I put a Daniel Jones, CD Lamb, Kenny Galladay, Zeke Elliott stack together. That was interesting. It's very expensive though, I must say.
Where's that Tony Pollard stack, man?
I don't know. I'm looking. I think he's so.
That one down there, yeah, bottom left. That one right there. That's the beauty.
Oh yeah. All right, we'll close this one down. We'll give this one a little bit more love here. Oh, I like
3. Yeah.
There we go. That's sexy.
Because this is a Tony Pollard game.
Oh, for sure. I like him over Zeke this week, by the way. Especially
Zeke,
the questionable.
I just literally 1 minute ago, Sleeper put out the Zeke is expected to play, but at the same time, with a sore knee, volume becomes an issue.
Yes, it does.
And the Giants are terrible at stopping anything. They can't stop anybody. And if you give Tony Pollard 50% share of the touches rather than 30, we're looking at a guy who's averaging 7 yards a carry this year. And he's a great receiver. This could, 5,600, nobody's going to have Tony Pollard. I'm looking at this with dollar signs in my eyes.
Yeah, I picked him in one of my GPP builds for the Patreon. I love that lineup. Him and Swift in there. 2 huge lotto tickets at the running back position allowed you to get very free.
That's why we play the game.
Exactly why we play the game. I built a few stacks here while we were talking. I put one together here with Dak, CD, Amari, and Saquon, just because I do like me some Saquon. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not a Devontae Booker mark. I don't know. What? Why
I say that because Devontae Booker's from Northern California, like me. So
you know him. You met him at a party.
No, I met one of his relatives though, and it was not impressive.
So we did stack that game. Any one-offs that you want to throw in there, or just as you're looking at that, a Schultz gonna be slightly rostered, as they say.
Yeah, too much for me. It's gonna
9%. What? I'm sorry. I can control myself. That's Darren Waller. Okay.
No, Schultz is gonna be Waller will probably be 15, and Schultz will be at 9, and it's just too high because if we ignore that Blake Jarwin has almost matched Schultz's production and is a full 1,200 cheaper. Schultz is a great play, but he's splitting everything with Jarwin, and they're both producing. It's very possible Jarwin outproduces him this week.
I'm just going to say this. I don't want to be racist, but when I watch the Cowboys game and they throw to a tight end, it's just a white guy. I don't know who it is. I'm not sure which guy it is, so I can't even celebrate until
you don't know the jersey. You don't know the jersey numbers by heart like I do.
No, I do. It's just sometimes it's fast and it's a white guy, and so those white guys all look the same. It's hard for me. If it was an African American guy, I can tell this guy's. It's easy. The white guys, man, because there's
why they put numbers on their jerseys, man.
I'm colorblind, so that doesn't But I digress. I'm not. My dad is colorblind. Sorry, Dad. Shout out my dad. All right. Last game on the slate walk might be the sexiest if you're honing in on some players. You're kind of focusing in on them yourself, which I am. What do you think about this game? Anybody you like, dislike, hate? George Kittle out for this one, by the way, on IR, folks, if you didn't get the message.
I hate this game, but I don't like it as much as everybody else does.
Why not? There's a lot of upside in this game.
There is, and there also isn't. You're talking about a lot of chalk with Kyler Murray. 8,000 is not that expensive. He's going to be the shiniest toy in the playpen with Josh Allen and with Patrick Mahomes on Sunday night, so off the main slate.
Makes sense.
Kyler Murray is going to be pretty, I think, much more than 10% that the projection shows there. I do love me some DeAndre Hopkins. Healed up a little bit more from his rib injury because the 49ers are just as tattered at corner as the Buccaneers are. This Arizona defense worries me for the 49ers side, though, because they've played really well. Look what they did to the Rams last week. That gives me a lot of pause for everybody saying how great of a play Trey Lance is this week. This Arizona team is getting after the quarterback.
Oh, I agree 100%. I don't think he is a tremendous play. I think he is a cheap play. And I think what happens with cheap plays is they become larger than life, and they become these exciting what could be's. And then when they're nothing, they ruin your team. So, but with that being said, let's build a Trey Lance stack attack. All right, I'm only going to be.
It's got to have Debo. Yeah,
100%. It's only Debo. I do like the DeAndre Hopkins one. It's a little priced up there, 20,000. If I could find one with Trey Lance, AJ Green, there we go. I like that one.
Yeah.
And then the Rondale Moore one. Oh man, I know it's cheap, but it's sexy.
Yeah. Everybody forgot about Rondale. He's so shorty. He's hiding in the grass again.
He's number 4. Don't forget that, by the way, folks. He's not 85. He's not what Tidwell's number, was that his name from Show Me the Money? Yeah, he's not him. Yeah, I do like this game a lot, and I'll tell you why I like this game, Bo. Not because of the game itself. I just like Deebo Samuel, and I like Deebo Samuel because there's no George Kittle, and because Ayuk, though not terrible, has not demonstrated that he has Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo's confidence yet, which means he doesn't have Kyle Shanahan's confidence yet. Maybe he'll get this game, maybe not. We'll see. But Deebo, target monster. He's got 43 targets so far this year. I fucking love that. Sorry, that's a lot for Deebo. And he's the kind of guy who, once he gets the ball, you don't want to tackle him. So it's not like a Deontay Johnson thing. You can't tackle him. If Deontay Johnson catches the ball, he's either scoring or getting tackled and falling down. He's not going to be doing a bunch of knocking people over, right? But Deebo will put you on your ass, and then he'll score a touchdown.
Deontay's a lot like Brandon Ayuk.
AJ Brown, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
On the other side. Yeah. And so I like that a lot. Any other stacks that you want to build here? These little skinny, short, run backs with anybody, or is this just me barking up this tree here? I got Hopkins. I do got Hopkins.
Because of Chase Edmonds being banged up, I'm gonna have a little bit of James Conner. I hate to say it because James Conner's such a turd, but the dude's a touchdown magnet this year.
Touchdown turd. Yep.
And so you can't ignore that, especially if Edmonds is going to be limited.
Yeah, I like that. And I just did hear the Podfather saying you should go trade for him. I'm not going to say you shouldn't go trade for him, but don't sell the farm on an injured player. Please don't. All right, so I think we've got it. We've got here. Let's run the Sims, Mr. Bo. Let's look at a couple good lineups. Your Shims. I love that. Okay, here we go. We've got some lineups.
They like that Cousins.
They do. They love Kirk Cousins. And look, they like your boy Trey Lance because they can fit so many of our players in with Lance. Cousins and Lance are the main. Oh, we got a Tom Brady. Let's look at this here. Now, it gave us freaking Chase Edmonds. Look at that. If we could get rid of Chase Edmonds, I'd like this lineup a little bit more. You got Deebo. You got Antonio Brown, Godwin. So you got the double stack. Gesicki running it back with Galladay.
No. Go down, and you'll find a quad stack with Tom Brady, Godwin, Brown, Brait, Waddle, Raymond, but J-Rob and Kamara at running back.
How far down is that one?
Right there. It's at the top.
Oh, there we go. This one right here.
Yeah, isn't that wild? That's
that
a quad
one
stack.
That is a quad stack. Brait, Brown, Chris Godwin, and Tom Brady. And they have one. You got the Waddle running it back. That is a really interesting lineup. I do love this, guys and girls. Run the Sims is so cool. You can just build and build and build for days. You also get over here the salary. So if you're leaving some on the table, they let you know kind of where you're at. $100 here, $200. You can change that so that you're using all the salary, or not all of it, depending on where you want to go. This lineup down here should burn in hell. It has Myles Gaskin in it. I will say, one thing you should do before you
Occupy loves Gaskin this week too, and I don't understand.
Whatever. I think one thing you should do before you go in and run the Sims is definitely X out the players you do not want for sure in your lineup, because they'll give you players that you don't want. So that's one thing we could have done. We didn't do it because it'd be a lot of clicking. But also, I would never, in God's name, use the Houston Texans as my defense. This lineup is just so scary. I'm going to play this lineup, by the way. I'm going to play it in like a 50 cent. I bet you it doesn't get over 100 points. But that is
that one looks pretty good other than that. And the Texans are at the very bottom of the board. But the Patriots aren't going to score that many points either. And Mac Jones will turn the ball over.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know. It's got just – it needs a little bit more. And the Edmonds scares me. That's the thing that scares me on that lineup for sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But you can easily pivot off of that type of lineup.
No, you can. All right, here's what we are going to do now. That was Run the Sims, honestly, brought to you by Run the Sims. And we're looking at the Slate Walk. Running the Sims there at the Slate Walk. We're going to transition now to our DraftKings Milly Maker build. We do this each week. This is brought to you by our friends over at Occupy Fantasy. Please sign up for Occupy Fantasy using the link in the description below. Right now, we are looking live. Did you build some more? I
saved that one. Yes. I just saved that one for you.
Oh, just the one. Okay, you did build some. I did look at this. I liked this earlier. This was filthy, as they say. I think Saquon is going to be in our build. I just want to say that between me and you. Is that okay? Is that?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's go to a new lineup. I'm gonna go to lineup number 2. If you don't know how to number 2, if you don't know how to use this, it's really simple. I'm gonna go a little smaller so it's you guys can see it on the screen. Here you go. You've got all the prices here. You've got the kind of their index of value here, the ownership or the rostership, and then the positions and stuff. So you can kind of move around. Where do you want to start? Team, position? You want to go right to defense and get that out of the way? How do you like to build your lineup here?
For GPP, I like to start with the stack.
Sexy. Who's our quarterback going to be? I think that's going to go a long way in deciding what we're going to do here.
Daniel Jones.
Danny Dimes.
I hate to say it, but you gotta play him this week.
I'm not against Daniel Jones this week actually at all.
I love him this week, and Galladay too. You're gonna lock those two in.
Let's lock him in. Do we want to run it back with anybody?
Yeah. How about CD Lamb?
I am all in for CD Lamb. What do you think about doing it a double stack run back? CD's at 17.9% with your boy Tony Pollard at 2.3. Too many or no? You like that?
Well, I want him in the flex spot.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do that.
Because
we'll save
it's a late window game.
Yeah, we'll save. Let's go to running back now. Which teams? Where are you focusing? Where are you? Let me click over there.
We are doing the 3x1 with Saquon, Daniel Jones, and Kenny Galladay.
Oh, I love that. Let me go get the running backs here. Saquon 14%, not too bad. Okay, and then who else are we going to put in there? We got Tony Pollard in the flex. So right now
we don't have to. Now the 3x1, I had it pictured with other players.
Okay.
But it's not that expensive. I mean, Daniel Jones only 6,000. We're spending up on Saquon, but CD's an amazing value. Galladay's a stupid value this week. Who's your favorite running back? Not named Derrick Henry.
Not named Derrick Henry. That's a good question. Let me go change it to running backs here, and I'm going to sort by the pricing here. You know what? There's a few running backs. I like Saquon. We got him already. We talked about Najee Harris. I do like Najee this year, but really for me, if I'm going to try to win the Milly Maker, I want somebody who's going to have huge upside. So it's going to come down to DeAndre Swift and James Robinson, and I'm okay with either one of them. I think Robinson is he's got more rostership than Swift. What do you think? Who would you lean towards here?
I'd probably lean Swift.
Yeah. And then we're going to put in the flex. Let's do our flex right now because we're already over here. And let's find Mr. Tony P. Is he not even in the first page of friends?
Oh, he's right there.
Oh, okay. My screen cuts out a little bit. Okay. They put him in the flex.
We're doing a 3x2.
Oh, and look at this. We have the 3x1. We have, look at that. We're doing good. We're at the high risk. Oh, no, we're at low risk. No, we want high risk. Okay, good.
Well, yeah, we're high risk, but we're also low risk because you want to go higher risk. You put a wide receiver in the flex or a tight end in the flex.
Right. Right. The running back in the flex is what's getting us.
That's a cash game move.
Yeah. I was wondering what was giving us that because I thought we were totally in the high risk area. I was getting scared. We were low risking it there. Let's talk about wide receivers that are risky but profitable. Where you want to kind of start with this? We've got some money left over. We're doing pretty well. We've got
not a lot.
43. Not too bad.
We're okay.
Yeah, we're not dead in the water.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Soon we will be. Yeah, I don't even think we can afford most of these guys. Do you want to look in this area maybe for anybody? Is there anybody here that you're interested in or no? In this realm?
So, the best wide receiver value, in my opinion, is Kenny Galladay, and then the second best value is CD Lamb. So we already have that.
Yeah.
How dire of a straits are we in if we plug in somebody at around that 7,000 mark?
Oh, let's check and see.
If I put in Chris Godwin, for example, or if I put in Deontay, or if I put
we're not bad. We could. Our defense is going to be cheap, and we got a tight end. I mean, so let's go check defense right now. We have Chris Godwin, CD Lamb, Kenny Galladay, and then we're gonna get funky with our defense here. Yeah. Where do you want to Washington football team is the most rostered. Eagles are up there as well.
They're cheap and disappointing.
Right. What about the Saints are up there, right? Or
the Saints are one of my favorites. Let's see.
The Chargers 2,700. We could go for them.
Oh yeah.
That leaves us with 3,900, which is not a terrible spot to be.
For a tight end, that's actually pretty special.
Well, we could do a lot with that. So let's go to tight end. Here we go. And we're going to just sort here by price. And then we can start here at Hunter Henry. We can go down, which I like Hunter Henry. I'm not even going to say anything right there. I mean, that's him and Johnny Smith. I think Mike was advocating for him earlier. What do you think about either one of those plays? Not high end enough, kind of eating each other.
Yeah.
I
like, let's see. I like Conklin.
We can afford Conklin. I like that game too, because we talked about that game shooting, and it's not just going to shoot out on one.
And we have it playing off of Swift.
Yeah, we got to run back in that.
Take Pollard out of the slot and see what we can get for that $6K that we have.
Oh yeah, $6K is that's
flex.
That's a lot of money there.
I think there's some James Robinson in that range.
Yes. I would rather have James Robinson, honestly.
I know.
Really much would rather have him. Yeah, right there. James Robinson. I see him. I got him. We got him,
sir.
We got him, sir. All right, let's take a look at it here. We've got Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Swift, Kenny Galladay, CD Lamb, Chris Godwin, or Chriswin, depending on what you like to call him, Tyler Conklin, James Robinson. Oh, man, I love having 3 running backs. Chargers defense. I'm not just going to save this one. I'm going to actually create this one now that we're here in DraftKings. Yeah, we're gonna own this bad boy, and we do want you, Daniel Jones. You're part of our team. You've made it.
I never thought I'd say those words.
I know. Listen, if Steffi Smalls is watching, she's probably just shitting herself right now. She's not.
She's not watching, but
she's not watching.
If I tell her to watch the replay so she can just fast forward to this part of the show.
Let her know that this is the moment.
This is the only time you're ever gonna see a double stack Giants.
I mean
Jones, Galladay, and Saquon is on our show a lot, but
we do like Saquon. We're pro Saquon. Both of us are. We played him last week. I mean, he was one of our best plays last week. So, we're not going to lie about that. And then I forgot who's our last friend here.
J-Rob.
Oh yeah. How could I forget? James Robinson. There we go. Oh man, that looks so sexy. So we got Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Swift, Godwin. Oh, I put Brandon Cooks in there. That's what happened. Somehow I clicked the wrong button. We do not want to do that. That is
CD Lamb.
CD Lamb is way better this week than there we go. Okay. CD Lamb, Kenny Galladay, Conklin, Robinson, Chargers D. We're gonna put it on the board.
$1 million.
$1 million. I'm definitely gonna enter this in some of my other contests that I have as well. But there it is, folks. There is the lineup that's gonna win us $1 million. And help us retire and just give fantasy a full-time shot. That's the hope. That's the hope. That's the goal. That's what we're doing it every day. And if not, guess what? This is my retirement plan. So I've got a little bit of time to go. I can build that nut. And please do. We love everybody. Please, if you're interested in lineups, if you're interested in joining us over at NimblewNumbers, our Patreon is searchable. Just go into Patreon, search Nimble. There you go. It's pretty simple. And then also, if you're into running the Sims or Occupy Fantasy, or I also forgot to mention our friends over at Underdog. There's so many different things. Check out the link in the description below. There's something for everybody. Football Guys is down there.
I nailed a prop on Underdog last week. $200 off a $10 entry.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. I love that. I've only done a $1 to 20. I wasn't ballsy enough to make it a 5 to anyway, or a 10. Or
it was great.
That's $10 turning into $200.
And it was the fifth part of that parlay was Chuba Hubbard under, and that was so gratifying because everybody's like, "Oh, Chuba Hubbard! Oh, I love him!" Blah 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 blah. Under, suck it.
Under, and I gotta say, you just gave me a boner. Shout out Jason Tindall. Yeah. All right. Well, folks, that's it for Chalk Block this week. Hope that you win your GPPs. Hope you cash in your cash games. From Bo McBig Time. But I gotta say, but where can people find your work? Where are you at right now? What are you crushing? What are you doing?
Right here, Bo _.
Wait, we forgot about the Clash. We forgot about the Clash. Oh my gosh.
Make it quick because it's gonna be like just go broken neck tomorrow.
Here's the Clash. Daniel Jones and
hey, that looks familiar.
That's my lineup. No, this is both lineup for the Clash.
It looks just like the Milly Maker lineup we just built.
Daniel Jones, Saquon, Derrick Henry, Galladay, CeeDee Lamb, Shenault, Ricky Seals-Jones. Nice pay down. James Robinson. Listen, if you beat me tomorrow, I might win $1 million. So I'm not
right.
That, right. So, and then on my side, we got all the lovely write-up that Bo did as well. I will read this. I'll just say this. The title of mine is called Kissing Your Sister. So please do check it out. You learn about the history of where that phrase came from. Here's my lineup. Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and look at us. Leonard Fournette, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Jalen Waddle, Noah Fant. I got Visca as well. I'm going with the Eagles. I could have gone with the Washington football team, but I wanted to go a little diversified.
We have 4 matches.
And I had CeeDee Lamb and the Washington football team. So we had 6 matches originally. We had to switch up a little bit. That's not cool.
But at the same time, your wide receiver core scares the bejesus out of me. And I'm sure Derrick Henry scares the bejesus out of you. So
Derrick Henry is so scary, man. He scares me. I'm going to have
your McLaurin and Deebo combo there. That's deadly. That's going to be nasty tomorrow.
This is going to be.
I just hope that your other guys that I'm not so worried about it don't blow up too, because I think those 2 guys are going to be carrying you.
It comes down to Fournette and Waddle. That's what it's going to come down to. And Fant's going to do his thing, so I'm not really worried about that. So, watch
Ricky Seals-Jones outscore Noah Fant tomorrow. I would love that.
That would be hilarious. James Robinson, good pick though. I really do like that a lot. All right, now we'll close the show. Sorry, we did forget that. It's kind of important. I don't know who's producing the show, but he's an asshole. Yeah. Anyway, please do check out Bo. He writes here for me at NimblewNumbers, Clash of the Beards and the Bellies. He also, if you go check out our new page, I did fix it up here, Bo. He's got Hot Cash from the King of Spice. I got my Nimble GPP plays. Where else can people find you, Bo? I know that you're not just in this planet. You're kind of out of this world. Where are you at?
So make sure you join the Blastronaut squad on ballblastfootball.com. Get you access to everything on the website, including my DFS work, where I'm writing showdown blasters for every primetime game. And just released this evening is my main slate article, where I break down cash plays, GPP plays, best stacks, and best values from the change jar, as I like to call it. So check it out, ballblastfootball.com/DFS, and you'll get to all my Patreon work for Ball Blast. We won, somebody signed up for Monday Night Football and won $8,000, taking home a 19-way share of $100,000 win on a big GPP. It was $15 entry, and I was in the same tournament, and he had one different player from me, and it was the difference between $200 and $8,000. So it was one. Yeah, that's the thing is
the sweat is real, folks.
Well, yeah, you get to be where I handed the keys to everybody who read it, and this one guy put all the keys in all the right slots at the right time.
Right.
And it was a beautiful lineup.
Yeah. No, it was. I saw that. And it was sexy as hell. Eckler was in
it was a Mike Williams fade and Eckler captain spot. That's all it took.
It was beautiful. I love it. Well, and also do go over and check out all of our partners here on the NimblewNumbers.com page. You got Run the Sims, Occupy, Prize Picks, Football Guys, Underdog, and you click on all of them, and it'll take you there to sign up. And then this is my favorite, though, BigTimeFlavor.co. Please go check out my guy, Bo McBigtime. He's the author, creator, inspiration behind the Hot Box Batch Gourmet Small Batch Hot Sauce. It is my favorite. I eat it almost every single day, and my wife doesn't always let me. Actually, she tries to chalk block me, and but I get through. Don't worry. Please do check out my stuff here at NimblewNumbers.com. I also write for the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Priced up, priced down article every single week about the DraftKings price changes. Tuesday night into Wednesday, I'm on the Mayo Media Network with my guy LQ. We're talking fantasy football picks and bets on the Mayo Media Network.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. It is. Use promo code.
I want to work with Laquan.
Laquan is awesome.
I'm so jealous of you too.
I make him laugh every time. I make jokes. I get to be silly and funny, and
I want to make Laquan laugh.
It's special, man. Especially when
he's
you can
one of my best friends in this space, and you're the only one that gets to have a show with him.
I'm a little jealous for you that I get to have a show with him. So, that being said, please check out all of our patronage. We are working hard for you, and we do love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out everybody who's sticking with us, Brad and Craig and Mike and Coach. So many people who are in the chat and then who are here today. Hopefully, eventually, maybe StreamYard will get their shit together and they'll be able to, talk to people who are on Twitter, who we love and respect and miss as well. But we had a nice go. We had like 6-7 people from YouTube over here tonight, Bo, at the same time. So I love that. Please,
all right.
Get that YouTube audience growing and flowing to the cash over here that we're printing at NimblewNumbers.com. Please check us out. We love you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great one. Peace.